welcome to another video. So we are now on episode 7 and I'll be doing the intro and outro a little differently today. Not for any particular creative reason, but all because this spell end didn't check his mic settings and ended up with a whole lot of unusable audio. But don't worry, I'm not a complete amateur. I regularly check the settings and the footage, so I've never end up in a situation where I've recorded 4 or 5 videos with really bad audio quality and then only realise when I come to edit them weeks later. I mean, what sort of moron would do that? So, if you expected a quality improvement by episode 7, I'm going to do what I do best and disappoint you. Cheesy intros, awkward outros, and some delightfully lacklustre voiceover is what's coming up on the next few videos. Perhaps drop us a comment to let us know how much you hate the new format, and I'll do nothing about it. You're stuck with them for the next few episodes, so on to the rust bucket. Hello, it's another Sunday. Last time we was getting this off cut, prepared and ready to go in. So today what I'm going to be doing is preparing this and getting it taken out. Firstly, we're going to clean the wax oil off to reduce the risk of fire and just to clean it up. Then taking the top piece off, taking this section off as well. If you look on this side, you can see it's old and crusty, so will need to be rebuilt. With those bits off, we can see how bad the outrigger is below. That's today's job. Right, so now we need to sort of work out how much of this we're taking out. So you need to cut along here, take this section out. It's rotten quite far into the corner, so we have to take quite a bit out. And then take what with this section, I'll go to where it's holed, take that off, but looking at the state of the top of the outrigger, we'll probably have to go quite a bit further back, possibly almost to here. Can't quite tell, but it almost feels like it's bulged between the plug weld there, so rust trapped between the two lips all the way up to there. Now unattached there. It's most of the way around. Had to go a bit where the angle is here, trying not to cut too deep into the panel below. So I might need to sort of, when we get round sort of the plug welds off, might have to chisel some of that out just to get break line there. But otherwise, it's just time to undo all the plug welds now. So all the ones onto the chassis rail are done. It's just the ones on the outrigger sort of holding it in place now. So hopefully these shouldn't put too much of a struggle on account of there's not a lot of outrigger left anyway. Right, so pretty much all off now. The only thing holding on is just where we haven't been able to grind all the way down without going through the inner layer. So just to break that. There we go. It's off. So now we've got one floating outrigger, which is, I mean, the inside face on it's actually alright. The outer one's where the Ross is, and unfortunately, yeah, we are going to have to go further back because there's still a lot of rust trapped under there. But this inner face.
This panel's good though. Is it worth tackling that from underneath or not?
No, because it has bulk. If you feel it, you can feel it's bulged up a little bit. So just sort of doing a little extra piece in here is going to be easy. Obviously, we'll take the cross member out further back, but I'm almost tempted to try and, in an attempt to keep as much original
cross member as possible.
In, I might actually only just use the this side of and the bottom of it, as opposed to, because this edge is. I'll give it a good clean up in a minute, but this edge here looks all really good. And I said that allows this to stay in the original position without sort of disturbing it and sort of going to fit it all back up and realising the aftermarket panel doesn't fit quite right, and it no longer fits up to your cross member.
So, yeah. I have Scotch-Brighted that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So if we fit this panel on top there, you can see we are going to have to sort of do an extension piece in there, but that's kind of what we expected to have to do anyway. So that's not an issue in itself. We have to go a little bit further here, but it means that this whole corner and everything, this piece here is just literally just spot weld this in once we've got the new bit of the section of cross member in, and then that's good to go. Saves us having to sort of make this whole piece up with, because where this angle comes down and tapers down and you've got this curve here, it'd just be a nightmare making it look good, just sort of making it out of individual pieces, whereas these bits here are sort of relatively simple, just a little bit of a curvature in them, so all good.
The bottom of the cross member. Clip into the new one, yeah?
Right, so as you can see, we've taken this bit more off, and as I thought, the rust went a little bit further along. You can see there's quite a bit of a blister there. But then as we get to here, it's literally, you can see the original primer there, so that's a good section there. So sort of we'll cut the outrigger down there, down to the bottom, along and up, and replace that section of it. Between all the sections where you can see the original primer and you know the rust isn't good. There's a little bit of surface rust there, but the general inside of it is just little bits of surface rust, nothing structural like this. So that's just a big old lump of the old seam sealer there. But yeah, so next job, cut that section down, take that section out, and then I'll just give everything a good old clean up, sort of with the wire wheel and the sort of grinder to sort of take the last little bits of these spot welds off, clean it up, and then just get some rust inhibitor and primer on there to stop the bits that are left from rusting, and then we can start cutting bits to sort of go back in. Right, so next thing is to sort of mark out where we're going to chop out. I'll chop it from below just because it's a lot easier access. I can't really get the camera in there and keep it recording without getting covered in stuff, so unfortunately you get to view it from above, which I don't think will show much, but well, unfortunately I need my head in there, not the camera. Boing. Like that. And see where we did a patch on it before. So that's the worst part of it. Cut out. And then what's left is we need to take a little bit out of this edge. It's got quite a bit of flex in there, so I think what we do when we weld it in, we'll get all the pieces made up, cut to shape, and then when it welds in, I'll make sure the actual cross member's bolted in place, and that will hold that and prevent that sort of moving as we weld it in. Right, so that's everything we're going to be cutting out now for the moment. So as you can see, I've taken out the three sides and just a little bit of the rollover there, but that's the metal there is really good and clean. What we'll do is, this is moving a bit, so as I said, when we weld it in, I'll bolt the cross member in, and that will hold that in place to stop that shifting out of position. So we'll cut down the repair panel to match that section, get that ready to weld up. Meantime, we'll clean all the sort of old wax all off of this, give it a good clean up, put some rust inhibitor on there, and then a sort of a weld through primer, stop it rusting in there again, clean up in here a little bit, and sort of get it ready, so the next time it's ready to weld that section in. So we've cleaned up all the edges, cleaned up any surface rust that was there, and it's all bright and shiny now. The next stage is to put a rust inhibitor on there. I prefer the Built Hamber Hydrate 80. It's basically been using it for years and it's good stuff. Whilst that's going off, I'll start sizing up the outrigger to fit this hole I've made. Right, so trying to work out sort of how much of this to cut out now. So we've got the section you sort of chopped out, and obviously what we've cut out a bit more than this, but this gives a rough size sort of how lengthwise. You've got the dimples in there, so you can just sort of get them so they sit in the right place. The remains of this one is still quite visible, so you sort of get it all in the right place, sort of give a rough idea, and then obviously you can mark that front and back, and you know roughly that's front to back, that's how much you want to cut. Obviously always go bigger, because you don't want to sort of cut too small and then have to make another little piece up to go in. So I'm going to cut quite a bit bigger around this, and then sort of as I go around, hold it up to that, cut a bit off, and then keep doing that until it fits the hole that's there. If access was a bit better on the inside of that rail, probably what I would do is cut mark this, cut bigger, and then put it on there and then scribe round it and then cut that to fit this, but Axis is a bit tight, so it's getting in there and cutting any more is going to be a bit of a risk of cutting too much. So we'll do it this way. It takes a bit longer, sort of cutting it down bit by bit, but you end up with a panel that fits accurately and you don't end up with a new bit that's going in that's much smaller than the hole you've cut. As you can see, we've refitted the cross member at this point. This is because the outrigger was moving about and I don't want to cut the new panel to fit, only to find the holes opened up larger due to the panel flexing. I've cut this panel out larger than the section I took off. It fits in here, lining up with the dimples. It overlaps on each side, so I then mark it with a marker pen or scribe it with something sharp, then cut it to the marks, after which it should, with a little bit of trimming, should then fit. Should fit. I can't quite remember if the battery went flat in the camera or I just turned it off in a tantrum. Needless to say, there were fitment issues, and at that point I called it a day. Next time we'll be persuading the outrigger to fit and welding it in. If you're enjoying the videos, perhaps give us a like or subscribe, or even if you have some feedback, it'd be great to hear it in the comments. So thanks for watching and see you next time.